Earlier this week, you made it pretty clear you were upset with Stipe Miocic calling you a bitch on the Countdown episode. Why exactly were you so upset by that?
As-tu entendu la foule? Gladiator 2.
You know, I feel like Stipe has this. You know, everyone likes first responders. You know, and I actually respect men and women in the armed forces and law enforcement, things like that. So I made it a point to try to be very respectful to him. And there's been two scenarios now. The first scenario, he said, my kids will never look at me like I'm an asshole. That was a direct attack to me and my family and my relationship with my kids. Second attack was him calling me a bitch. So the respect is a little bit out the window, and we'll see that on Saturday.
Would you describe this fight as personal to you now?
Excuse me?
Would you describe this as personal to you now, this fight?
It's very personal to me, yes.
For you, Stipe, are you kind of surprised to hear his reaction to that? And do you even feel like you want to apologize for some of those things you said?
I mean, yeah, I don't remember saying when my kids look. I don't remember saying that when my kids look at me like an asshole. That was no direct thing to him, and that when I said "bring it on, bitch," it was pretty much he was calling me out, telling me he's gonna beat my ass in front of a whole arena of people. So, sorry for defending myself. I apologize.
He said it's personal. Do you feel like this is personal now?
I mean, I think every fight's personal no matter what. I think you're fighting another man, another octagon, it's just you against him, and it's always personal.
You brought your fire helmet with you today. I'm curious, what was the thinking in displaying that for us this afternoon?
FDNY gave me this right before I came on stage. Those men are awesome. Like those are heroes right there, and I just it was amazing to get that gift. I got goosebumps.
A couple of questions for you, Dana. Dana, it seems like the fighters are going to be competing in the old gloves this weekend. Can you tell us why that is?
Because there were a lot of complaints about. We originally created these gloves to stop eye pokes, and you know we had good intentions with them. They didn't work out. People weren't happy with them, so I actually made the decision. Called our chief operating officer Lawrence and said, "I'm switching the gloves. I want new the old gloves back." So,
is it going to be the old gloves moving forward now?
Yes.
Okay. And last one from me.
The new gloves are now the old gloves.
Okay. And last one from me. We all know that this Saturday has to take place, but for you personally, do you still want to see the winner of this fight Tom Aspinall to unify the heavyweight title?
Was that for me?
Yeah.
What's the question?
Do you want to see the winner fight Tom?
The winner should absolutely fight Tom. Who's got the next question?
Knock it off.
Question from Michael Chandler, all the way in the back right here, straight in the floor. You know, a lot of the narrative surrounding this is, you've never won in Madison Square Garden. Charles Oliveira has a win over you. So taking away, the possible number one contender fight, getting the win, bonuses and everything, how much does this fight mean to you specifically to fight Charles in Madison Square Garden?
I absolutely love it, man. I love challenges. I love climbing a big hill. I have shed blood in Madison Garden twice. I will draw blood in Madison Square Garden for a third time on Saturday night. Big title implications against a guy who's already beat me, shattered my dreams of becoming lightweight champion. And on Saturday night, I submit myself as the #1 contender, and my next fight will be for the belt.
Are you surprised at the reaction here, or do you think it's just because they're such fans of Charles?
Yeah, I mean, Charles is beloved. Hey, listen, if you don't love Charles Oliveira, you're not a mixed martial arts fan. So I give it to him. Hey, so I fully expect it. I just saw Charles in the back. It's all respect. If you don't love Charles Oliveira, you can kick rocks. We're showing up on Saturday night. We're going to blow off the freaking roof off of Madison Square Garden, and you guys are going to love it.
My question's for John Jones. John, you said Anderson Silva was your favorite fighter growing up. Now that you've grown up, you're the GOAT for a lot of people. How does it feel to reflect on how you thought when you were growing up compared to looking back on things now?
It's been amazing, having guys like Anderson, Spider Silva to look up to. There's a lot of guys. There's Uriah Faber. I have a long list of guys that I've always admired. George St. Pierre. These guys were great examples to me in many different ways. You know, some for their fighting skills, some for the way they transcended the sport. And I'm grateful to be in this position now. I'm very aware that I've impacted many people's lives around the world. And it's just, it's a huge honor, and it's a true pleasure to be in this position.
Question for Jon Jones. Jon, you've just heard the reaction from the crowd and Dana's reaction of what they expect next in the heavyweight division. I know that you've given answers this week that don't align, obviously, and hopefully at one point we might get aligned. If we don't get aligned, Saturday night, realistically, could be the last dance. So with that in question, and it is the last time that we see you inside the UFC octagon, how do you want these good people to remember your time in the UFC?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking it. I want to be remembered as a guy who came, saw, and conquered. Simple as that. Thank you.
Go ahead.
A question for Michael Chandler. Michael, Conor McGregor will most likely be watching on Saturday. Do you want to use this performance to send a message to Conor?
I've got absolutely no message for Conor McGregor. I'm 100% focused on Charles Oliveira. Conor McGregor can't get his house in order long enough to figure out how to string together a training camp to show up to the UFC octagon and do what guys like I and Charles Oliveira do multiple times a year. So he can enjoy it from wherever he's enjoying it from. We'll keep the octagon warm while he's out.
Another one for Jon Jones. Jon, DC recently came out and said you and him will most likely never be on good terms. Since he may be calling your last fight, do you ever want to bury the hatchet with DC?
Yeah, I love to bury the hatchet with DC. You know, literally every time I see him, I try to give him a smile. I try to give him a handshake. And I don't think I just recently found out he doesn't like that very much. So I think I'll just give him a little friendly wave from a distance from now on. That's all over for me a long time ago. I'm sure there's a lot of guys, a lot of former opponents that really don't like me, and that's a part of doing what I do.
And last one for Dana, just to clarify your opinion on this for the fans at Madison Square Garden. Who is the pound-for-pound #1 in the UFC, and who is the greatest of all time?
Listen, it is my belief that as long as this guy is active, he's the best. He's the pound-for-pound best in the world, and he's the greatest of all time.
Thank you.
Go
ahead, sir.
Right on Saturday, too.
Appreciate it, Dana. Questions for Stipe. Stipe, you've been an underdog betting-wise against Fabricio Verdum, Junior Dos Santos, Francis DC, but you're coming in as the longest odds of your entire career right now. Why do you think the public has overlooked your ability to step back in the ring and get it done?
I don't care. I've never cared about the odds. You know, Vegas hates me, and I'm gonna keep it that way.
You've beaten a litany of UFC Hall of Famers during your career. Where would a win over Stipe rank amongst those wins?
You're saying what is a win over Stipe? Where does that rank?
Hey, where do you rank it in the list of wins that you've had over?
Hey, before I answer this question, I have a very special young man here tonight. My man Kier, I met earlier today. He was diagnosed with cancer recently, and Dana, I'm wondering if you can get him tickets to my fight. That's awesome, guys. Kier is over here in the red. He's such a sweetheart. Such a sweet young man. I don't know if you guys can see him, but he has the biggest and most beautiful smile. And I am so blessed to have met him. And I promise to give you a great show on Saturday night, young man. And Dana just said you got tickets, so you're going to be all right. Hopefully they give you, are you going to give him a decent seat? Or you're going to get a good seat, too. Uncle Dana, he knows how to take care of his guests. So, welcome to the UFC, Kier. And as far as beating Stipe, where would that rank? You know, I've defeated a lot of amazing athletes, and Stipe is an amazing athlete. You know, even though I don't quite like him as of right now, which it's fighting. Who cares if I like him or not? I have to respect what he's done in the UFC. I've seen this man use that right hand to get some really great guys. So I got nothing but respect for the dude at the end of the day, and that's what's going to make it such a great fight. I know he has a great team and a great family. I have a great team and a great family, and that's what MMA is all about. Martial arts is all about two greats getting together and seeing who's the better fighter.
I'm fucking coming for you!